Hello students, today I am going to explain the lesson Landscape of the Soul by Natalie Trevorroy. About the author. Natalie Trevorroy is an art historian who came in limelight because of a translated work, City of Jinns, a book by William Dalrymple. She is the wife of Belgian ambassador to India. She holds a master's degree in history of art and archaeology from University of Belgium. About the lesson, this lesson deals with the attitude of the Chinese painters. They did not endeavor to reproduce the actual likeness of the landscape as the Western painters do. There was always a spirit hidden in their art. The lesson also discusses the Taoist concept of sanctuary as applied by the Chinese artists in their work. The lesson sees art as a spiritual journey to the inner recesses of the painter's mind. The chapter also pays homage to the untutored genius Nek Chand of India, who created the rock garden at Chandigarh by using the waste material. Now I'll give line-wise explanation. Landscape of the Soul by Natalie Trevorroy. A wonderful old tale is told about the painter Wu Daozi, who lived in the 8th century. His last painting was a landscape commissioned by the Tang Emperor Xuanzong to decorate a palace wall. The master had hidden his work behind a screen so only the emperor could see it. Now, it is a wonderful old tale, a very nice old tale is told about the painter Wu Daozi. Tale is a story told about the painter Wu Daozi, who lived in the 8th century. His last painting was a landscape commissioned by the Tang Emperor, that is, ordered by the Tang Emperor to decorate his palace wall. The master had hidden his work behind a screen. The painter had hidden his work behind a screen so only the emperor would see it. So he wanted the emperor to see it first. For a long while, the emperor admired the wonderful scene, discovering forests, high mountains, waterfalls, clouds floating in an immense sky, men on hilly paths, birds in flight. Now, when the emperor saw the painting, he was struck with wonder. The scene was very beautiful, and he was looking at the forests, the high mountains, waterfalls, clouds floating in an immense, very big sky, men on hilly paths, birds in flight. "Look, sire," said the painter. "In this cave at the foot of the mountain dwells a spirit." Then the painter said, "Look, sire." He pointed to the painting and told the emperor to look at the bottom of the foothill of the foot of the mountain. In this cave, he pointed to a cave. He said, "In this cave at the foot of the mountain lives a spirit." The painter clapped his hands and the entrance to the cave opened. "The inside is splendid beyond anything words can convey." He told the emperor that from inside the cave is splendid. It is very beautiful, beyond words can describe. "Please let me show your majesty the way." He said, "Please let me show you the way." The painter entered the cave, but the entrance closed behind him. When the painter entered the cave, the entrance closed behind him, and before the astonished emperor could move or utter a word, the painting had vanished from the wall. Now, before the king was astonished, he was surprised, shocked, and before he could move or say a word, utter a word, say a word, the painting had disappeared from the wall. Not a trace of Wu Daozi's brush was left. That is, here brush refers to the painting. The painting was not left, it disappeared. And the artist was never seen again in this world. And the artist was never seen in this world again. The artist also disappeared with the painting. Such stories played an important part in China's classical education. Now, when China's classical education is imparted, such stories play an important part in it, important role in it. The books of Confucius and Zhuangzi are full of them. Now, the books written by Confucius and Zhuangzi were the thinkers, famous thinkers of China. They wrote many books, and their books are full of such stories. They help the master to guide his disciple in the right direction. They believe that such stories help the master to show the right path to their followers, to their students, to their disciples. Beyond the anecdote, they are deeply revealing of the spirit. Beyond the anecdota, small incidents. Beyond those incidents, they are deeply revealing. They show of the spirit in which art was considered. They show the spirit in which art was considered. Contrast this story or another famous one about a painter who would not draw the eye of a dragon he had painted for fear it would fly out of the painting. Now, if you contrast either this story or another story, another famous story, it was about a painter who would not draw the eye of a dragon he made. Whenever he painted dragons, he never painted the eye of the dragon because he feared that the dragon might fly out of the painting. With an old story from my native Flanders that I find most representative of Western painting. With an old story from my native Flanders that I find most representative of Western painting. Now, he finds that it is one of the stories from many other stories that come from medieval country in Western Europe. Flanders means from a medieval country in Western Europe. In 15th century, Antwerp, a master blacksmith called Quentin Metsys fell in love with a painter's daughter. The father would not accept a son-in-law in such a profession. So Quentin sneaked into the painter's studio and painted a fly on his latest panel with such delicate realism that the master tried to swat it away before he realized what had happened. Now, in 15th century, Antwerp, a master blacksmith called Quentin Metsys fell in love with a painter's daughter. Now, he was a blacksmith, but he fell in love with a painter's daughter. The father would not accept a son-in-law in such a profession. Now, the father, who was a painter, would not accept a blacksmith as a son-in-law. So Quentin sneaked into the painter's studio and painted a fly on his latest panel, on his latest painting. The blacksmith, he quietly entered the painter's studio and he painted a fly on his latest painting, latest canvas. With such delicate realism that the master tried to swat it away. Now, when the painter came inside his studio, he thought a fly was sitting on his canvas because the fly was so realistic that it appeared as if a real fly was sitting on the canvas. So, the painter tried to swat it away, chase it away, before he realized what had happened. Then he realized that it was a fly which was painted on his canvas. Quentin was immediately admitted as an apprentice into his studio. So now the painter was impressed and he accepted Quentin as his apprentice. Apprentice is someone who assists and also learns the whatever profession, whatever job it is. He married his beloved and went on to become one of the most famous painters of his age. These two stories illustrate that each form of art is trying to achieve a perfect illusionistic likeness. Now, these two stories illustrate that each form of art is trying to achieve. Now, each form of art is trying to achieve a perfect illusionistic likeness. In Europe, the essence of inner life and spirit in Asia. Now, according to the European artists, they tried to paint something which looked very natural, real. There was no difference. They tried to achieve realism. Their paintings were based on realism. Whereas the paintings which were made in Asia, they were spiritual. They had illusionistic but spiritual quality in them.